by directing who will be given the authority of the priesthood, who will hold its offices, and how its rights and powers will be conferred. For example, a person who holds the priesthood is not able to confer his office or authority on another unless authorized by one who holds the keys. Without that authorization, the ordination would be invalid.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. There's really nothing in the church news, just more collections of money disguised as aid. So we're going to catch up on some remaining comment replies. So the first one has to do with the ban forbidden apostates. It's getting close to 2,000 last I saw, but YouTube has finally succeeded in shutting it down, so it's winding up. They got it. Church is safe. Church is now true again. So Christopher Jones gives a comment. Scriptures govern the church, in response to why those videos were banned, one of which was by an apostle of the Lord Jesus, Packer. And so Christopher Jones is apologizing for the church. He's an apologist. He learned from apologists to use fallacy arguments to make his argument to defend the church. Church is true. And he's about to get humiliated. Scriptures govern the church. See overview of D and C 42. Get off your cell phone. So section 42 is 93 verses. So, the summary by Bruce R. McConkie, after giving us the chapter heading, is trying to hint about an upcoming law that would be given in Kirtland, Ohio. This is February 9th, 1831. Continues, the prophet specifies this revelation as embracing the law of the church. So, 1 to 10, the elders are called to preach the gospel. They are not called to make up gospel. They are not called to lie about the gospel. So, he's correct. Scriptures govern the church. And baptize converts, build up the church. You know, word likened unto seed, and building up the church for the fruit for the latter days. 11 to 12, they must be called and ordained by one who has authority. If the person does not have authority, he cannot call and ordain others. Right, Oaks? That is very crucial and important. And so, we know this in the priesthood at least, and are to teach the principles of the gospel found in the scriptures. They are not allowed to make up scriptures. They are not allowed to make up doctrine. They are not allowed to lie about the doctrine. Preach what is written in the Word and not vary from it. Real simple. He knows it. They are to teach and prophesy by the power of the Spirit. Ooh, predict the future. You know, only what's found in scriptures. You're not allowed to make up your own prophecies. And so, 10 Commandments. Don't murder, steal, lie, lust, commit adultery, speak evil against others. See, you're not allowed to speak evil against me. Stop it. Stop it. Laws governing the consecration of properties. Oh, here we're getting into the law. Are set forth. The sick are to be healed through the administrations and by faith. Scriptures govern the church. There's the quote. And are to be proclaimed to the world. Not to make up their own scriptures, not to make up their own gospel, not to lie. Preach only what is in the scriptures. It's the one and only one thing the elder missionaries had to do. And yet, in 1832, as Benson also warned Mormons, calling them under condemnation still, Mormons were lying about the scriptures. Somebody had just joined the church and had converted a whole bunch of people who also became missionaries, converting other people, and Joseph Smith says they're lying about the church. Who could it be now? Who could it be now? Who could it be knocking at my door? So yeah, in the Book of Mormon, there's a story of Abinadi preaching out against King Noah and his 12 apostles. 12 priests. And Alma is one of the priests. And Alma goes, oh crap, we are wicked. So he's excommunicated, has to flee for his life. As Abinadi would go on to be murdered by tiki torches. Projecting too much. And so Alma then is able to have a few followers from the city who also believed in the words of Abinadi. And so he would take them to the waters of Mormon and there teach only the words of Abinadi. And he being a missionary only of the 12 apostles, could only baptize. That's as far as he could go, as I'm frozen. Yep, so 2 days in a row, he's got the afternoon shift, and he even shut me down in the previous segment of 16 seconds. He cannot be good. He is incapable of being good. He will not leave me alone to practice my religion of the Scriptures that's supposed to govern the church. He will not obey the Scriptures that govern the church. He is setting an example for the corruption of the church that taught him to do this. The church is corrupt. He proved it to you live. Mormons are incapable of being good and pursuing the Scriptures. So, let's see if there's anything more in that particular quote, starting in verse 53. Stand in the place of your stewardship. Don't take your brother's underwear. My scriptures shall be given. It's expedient. Hold your peace. Not teach them until you receive them in full. Interesting. So, yeah, he's telling them to wait until the Book of Commandments in 1833 gets published. But, yes, still go out and talk about the Book of Mormon. And so, not the individual things that he talks about. Wait for them to be officially published. That's what that is referring to. Interesting. Teach unto all men, for they shall be taught unto all nations, kindred, tongues, and people. Thou shalt take these things which thou hast received, which thou hast given unto thee in my scriptures, for a law, to be a law to govern my church. Yep. Doctrine and Covenants is what it became in 1835. And so it has stuff about organizing the priesthood with a high council, with 70 under the high council, with a traveling high council called the 12 apostles, and a 70 under the 12 apostles, the traveling high council. Different from the high council, which is administrative. So yes, he is not watching my other videos. He spoke hastily and has now humiliated himself because he rushed to judgment. So the latest thing that I've been exposing of the church prophets, both Anderson and Oakes, quote from the scriptures, but make a boo-boo. Both of them. Section 120. And so, the original document includes what Bruce R. McConkie inserted in the chapter heading, that it's about the disposition of the properties tithed. Consecration, as named in the preceding revelation, but not the preceding revelation, section 119, which did not exist until 1844, when Brigham Young put it in his Doctrine and Covenants, and then wouldn't put in 120 until the year before he died in 1876. You can see how pissed he is with me with my latest content by the number of times in which he freezes my camera. Hilarious. So, verily, thus saith the Lord. Now remember, both Anderson and Oakes, that I found so far, quote section 120 and say that the apostles are responsible for the disposition of tithes, because it says so. And As Christopher Jones said, scriptures govern the church. Verily, thus saith the Lord, the time is now come, that it shall be disposed of, tithing, by a council, composed of the first presidency of my church. No confusion there, right? And of the bishop and his council, and of my high council. And by mine own voice unto them, saith the Lord, even so, amen. The 12 apostles are not to touch tithing. Very simple, very plain, pure, and most precious. Scriptures govern the church, and the scriptures say no. The 12 apostles have no authority to touch tithing. Oops. Want to try again? This is what I've been going over with you all these latter days. The living prophets of Jesus have no authority. They violated the authority that they did have. They exalted themselves above and beyond the authority they had. You know, it's not as bad as Catholics who have the Pope, who's just a bishop. But nonetheless. So yes, everything the church does with tithing, every scandal you hear about tithing, about how they're practicing priestcraft, how they're stealing and robbing God, and all of the hoarding of money as Mormons suffer and die, as they're making terrorist deals to pay the Judas price to murder Mormons, murder mankind, steal money, and coup governments. Yeah, they're the great and abominable church. They're not following the scriptures to govern the church. When are Mormons gonna get it? When? Never. Great. No Zion then. So a brand new one on the new video I did this morning. Numerous Book of Mormon prophecies being fulfilled as Mormons. And so, win, Z, low, go. He wants to keep his identity a secret. He's not AI, unless AI, like I said, has the ability to change the date of when they joined. To fool YouTube. It says he joined in May 17th, 2017. So he's been around a while. He says he's been around a while because he or she, could be a she. Hello, Travis! Exclamation point. I want to introduce myself to you. Okay, you know me by name. Due to my mistrust of Google, YouTube, Microsoft, Apple, and on, I am known as Winslow. Okay, so you're not going to introduce yourself to me. And I have been listening to your YouTube videos for some time now. Doesn't specify how long. They've been on YouTube since 2017, but have no idea if it's just been this year, a year, 2 years, or all the way back to 2017 when they first joined. As Winslow, go, or Winslow. I do appreciate your deep understanding of Hebrew, Book of Mormon, and other various ancient writings. Okay, so I see what your interest is. But would you be interested in joining me for a cup of coffee? No. I don't drink coffee. It smells bad. It ain't going in my mouth. Unless you're generalizing that to say, get together and I can have hot chocolate or whatever. No, still no. I don't know you. You don't even have a thumbnail picture because you're hiding. Your mistrust of the modern technologies that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is making a huge, massive profit, Apple being the latest, on the stock market, which are all embracing AI, causing the extermination of mankind. October 14th, 2025. I have that picture already made up. It's supposed to be for tomorrow, but we'll start using it today. So no, I don't trust you because of your mistrust of the technologies that you are unwilling to identify yourself to me. You say you've been stalking me for a while, but you haven't been commenting, you haven't been participating, you haven't made an attempt to reach out to me. Now all of a sudden, today, you reach out and you want me to be involved in your life, and I have no idea who you are. I mean, you can be a 300-pound man in his mommy's basement in Utah County, or you could be an incredibly hot chick who's a Russian honeypot. I don't know. You're afraid to reveal yourself to me. Now, there's one other person who's been in communication with me, but because of the threats to their life through Google, YouTube, Microsoft, Apple, and so on, could not have me see his identity. But I was able to use Google to find out who he is. And so over all these years, he has shared his life with me. I have shared my life with him as he follows my videos, as he makes comments every so often. And yeah, you're nowhere near that level. And so no, I don't know you. I don't trust you. You're hiding something from me. You're trying to claim that it's because you're mistrusting the technologies. Sorry, the YouTube Mormon employee down in Utah County already knows your IP address. And so if you're going to get attacked, yeah, it's going to happen. You should have revealed your identity. Or you should have gone to other sources to reveal your identity, which other people have tried. None of them could sustain themselves. Well, sort of. Trialed Faith, I think, reached out through academia, and he comes and goes now. He travels the world and all this stuff, but regardless, when he makes a comment or asks a question, I'll respond. But yeah, to get involved with me, you have to show you're willing to invest. I've been around. I have seen false friends come and go. I've seen people pretend to be my friend and betray me. I've had family betray me. So no, you cannot just walk into my life and expect to instantly start a relationship or lay a trap to laugh at me by betraying me also. And then response afterwards then says, or are you a strictologist with the LDS word of wisdom? No. It smells bad. It ain't going in my mouth. It has nothing to do with the church. He claims he's been following me. And he doesn't know that by now? The word of wisdom does not mean the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is true. Joseph Smith says in the Word that it is by, let me quote it, wouldn't have missed it for the world, I wouldn't have missed it. A word of wisdom for the benefit of the council of high priests. Not the 12 apostles? Assembled in Kirtland. And the church. Oh, there they are. And also the saints in Zion. To be sent greeting, not by commandment. What's it doing in our temple recommend interview questions? Who had authority to turn the word of Joseph Smith into a commandment? Number 2. Or constraint, but by revelation and the word of wisdom, showing forth the order and will of God in temporal salvation. There's number 3. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints takes your temporal money of tithing, which they are not authorized to take, and promise you spiritual witness blessings. Anybody else want to dare make a comment? So yes, I have no problem drinking Mountain Dew. Caffeine does not affect me, as National Geographic did the article of, about why we have the headaches in the back of the head when we take in caffeine, such as coffee. I don't have the effects, and if you kept reading, it's only hot drinks. Again, when they turned it into a commandment, not having authority to do so, they clarified for Mormons that it means coffee and tea. Just like for porn and other things that those who are not authorized to violate the scriptures violated the scriptures with. So no, it is not an extremism situation. It's not a one way or the other. It's something completely different. I don't like the smell. It ain't going in my mouth. Same with alcohol. It looks like pee. It smells bad. Those who get drunk end up peeing themselves. So no, it is not going in my mouth. And so when I had my DNA tested, sure enough, they told me, you probably shouldn't drink alcohol because you're a very lightweight. Very lightweight. Yeah, no duh. My sense of smell protects me. And so with cigarettes and drugs, ain't happening. For the same reason. But the prophecy of Elijah and Lilith, about how Lilith says she's about to go murder a boy that's going to be born. We're coming up on the month of Elul. Lilith, darkness, darkening of seers. And so, as a baby, newly born, parents had an apartment in Oakland, California, while my dad was going to Berkeley, California. Born in Berkeley, Alameda, California Hospital. So yeah, Planet of the Apes, Caesar, born in Berkeley. Already did that video. They hired a babysitter to take care of me. And my dad smelled something wrong in the house because my parents don't smoke. As a smoker, you think that, well, as long as you're not smoking in the house, everything is fine. A house that does not have smoke or alcohol, when a person who is not drinking, not smoking, enters into the house, the secondhand drenching of your body permeates the house and is instantly recognizable. So my parents came home. Something smells wrong. Dad searched the house, found that the babysitter had put in smokes. And whether it was drugs that was prevalent during the time in Berkeley, in the area, or just cigarettes of the teen girl who was the babysitter, she had stuffed them in the tank of the toilet to try to hide them. She thought that, nobody would know I'm smoking. Here I am, a brand new baby, and she's a smoker. And the permeated secondhand smell is entering into my body. She is poisoning me to try to murder me as the babysitter. There's a reason why medical doctors warn women, if you're thinking about getting pregnant, make sure you don't do drugs, smoke, or drink. There's a reason why. When a pregnant woman is warned by a medical doctor, don't do drugs, smoke, or drink. After you've had the baby and are nursing, the medical doctors severely warn, don't do drugs, smoke, or drink. There's a reason. So as a result, I have had the unbreakable curse, or the Mr. Glass curse, whether you prefer Bruce Willis or Samuel L. Jackson. And so thus, I have allergies that will kill me because of that babysitter and her attack on me to murder me. So no, the word of wisdom has nothing to do with it. I never even knew the word of wisdom. I was a little kid. The bishop took me in for my 8-year-old baptism interview and said, "Do you keep the word of wisdom?" Well, yeah, okay. Both my parents are strict Mormons. I had no idea what coffee was, except for the one day in grade school in Sierra Vista, Placentia, where a group of kids had a coffee candy drop and offered it to me. Oh, candy, yay. I put it in my mouth. Oh my God, spat it right out. It ain't going in my mouth. Then they said it was a coffee drop, and they laughed, thought it was hilarious. Certain things are not going in my body. Not complicated. So get off of this one way or the other thinking. You're already on my bad side. You're making it worse. And so I would like to spend some time with you and just share things. Well, no, I don't want to share things with you now. You're losing me. You did it wrong. And if you're the hot Russian honeypot, what the hell? Why? Why did you ruin it? Please let me know. There you go. As you know, time is, all caps, running out. You're not coming to Zion if that's what you're thinking. Thank you, Winslow. Note, I hope the YouTube guy who stalks you doesn't come after me too. Yep, too late. He already knows you now. Busted.